What is up? What is up, my Balisong flippers? How we all doing tonight on this wonderful Tuesday evening? The week is almost halfway over, and I hope you're as excited as I am about that fact. What is up, Ghost, Silas, Hunter, FSSCC, Scott? What's going on? Tony, Light, how we all doing today? Living the dream. I hear you, man. I really do. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Bang. Hello. It's me. Welcome back. Welcome back to my desk, where I talk to you about all the dumb little thoughts that rattle around in my dumb little head. I hope you all are doing well tonight. I personally am continuing to flip the cheese, but I also have the cat here on standby, which they conveniently upgraded to 7075 literally 2 days after I received it in the mail. So that was pretty cool. Shout out to that. I love that. Do you think the EPS 101 V2 stands up to date? No. But that's just me. I personally think it's one of the worst, it's probably not the worst texture now that the new, or I should say the new but original Nibali's extrusion exists. The silver one that I talk about. That is the worst texture I've ever felt in the Balisong. But the 101 held that place for a long time. But even beyond that, it just doesn't really stand up to even EPS's own designs that are not too much more expensive. The V3, on the other hand, is decent. Got my Frank XL today. The stand was broken and the color's kind of weird. It's red handles and a pale pink blade. So it looks like his legs are sunburned. I didn't know they did different blades. Is that a mistake or is that intentional? I've been keeping the cheese on hand this week. It's growing on me. I think it'll continue to grow on you. Grow like a nice mold. Yours is a blue cheese, so that sentence actually kind of makes sense. They do random colors. Oh, okay. Mine was just all purple, so I didn't know if they did. I think most of the people that they sent them to before the comp was like purple, so. NRB aluminum rep is so enjoyable. True, Ted. I actually don't know if that's true or not, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm doing pretty well, Silas. How are you doing? So chat, short stream tonight. I'm not going to be going for too long, but I wanted to get on here at some point this week and do a little stream for you guys because this will be the last chance that I have pretty much for the rest of the week. Probably not entirely true. I'll technically have time Thursday, but I probably just won't feel like it. So today's the day. We're going to talk for, it's probably only going to be like an hour, maybe less. We'll see how it goes. Hope y'all are doing well. Nibali's needs to make a moldy cheese color. They did. They have like a green, they have like the sea foam green one, which that's probably the moldiest they're gonna get. I don't really think, and this might be controversial of me, I don't really think it's a need for Nibali's to do that. But that's just me. Maybe I think they should be putting their focus in a few other things than a disgusting, gross food item that looks like it has gone bad. But that's just me. You disagree, leave it in the chat. Like the stream, guys. Leave a comment in the chat. I'll get to you on the next episode of Yai. Lake foam green, not sea foam green. Lake foam green, not sea foam green. I don't. Am I a ball knower? I don't think I'm a ball knower here, unfortunately. What's up, Jesse? How you doing? What is up, Mr. Rising Star? Half of the dynamic Rising Star duo himself? Big Frank is peak. Big Frank is pretty cool. So I'm guessing based on the amount of Big Frank I've seen in the chat so far that they sent him out to all the people who competed in the LDY comp. I'm assuming that's why we're talking about Big Frank so much today already. Yai is crazy. Now here's a guy who knows wall. The big Frank washers are literally just normal washers. I think it's the same on mine. I think mine is the same way. Why is it the same people in your streams every time? Me when people me when community? It is not my intention to make fun of your question, but that's literally how it works. People watch my stream and then they enjoy it and they keep coming back. It's never mind. It's okay. Who's selling a bike on their story? What is happening? Oh, 11th to 30th. Okay, so they sent out the prizes, I guess I should say. Is it true that the LDY competition, everyone won a prize because there weren't enough submissions to go over 50? I know it was the case for like a little bit before the submissions closed, but did it actually end that way? The real uncharacteristic TED message abound. Ted, are you okay? Are you completely possible? Bro is not in control of his own account right now. Did Farbos get a prize? I don't think I would have heard if Farbos got a prize. How absolutely peak that would have been if Farbos got a prize. He's real for asking that? I'm not saying he's not real for asking that. I'm just saying it's unlike him to ask that. Not everyone got one? Okay, so they did get enough submissions. Cool. Have your opinions changed on the thing Ted sent you? I don't know which one you're referring to, but I have them both right here. I got the Cycloid Live, and I got the Zika. And both of them, I feel exactly the same as when I left off. I'm actually starting to like the balance on the Cycloid Live a little bit more than in the video. But it is a very scary, sharp live blade, and I haven't really been flipping it that heavily. Like, I've been flipping it, but I haven't been going crazy on it. The Zika, literally, it's just uncomfortable. The Zika is an excellent flipper that I would happily recommend to people if it wasn't so uncomfortable. Like, I think the balance on this thing is, like, SlifT level. It just works in ways that I can't fully explain, but I just enjoy. But yeah, the scales are way too sharp. The Zen cup on the blade kind of sucks. I think this thing got done incredibly dirty by just the design of it, because it flips really well. Eventually we all get here. All right, Ted. I wish I could help with your journey, but unfortunately, the Camaro EE YouTube channel is the wrong place to go if you're looking for something like that. If you're looking for, and I quote, 824 to 28, possibly single. That's, yeah. And possibly goth. You're in the wrong place, buddy. Did you see LDY stole the lyric design? No, I have no idea. Are there any Bally's Ted doesn't own? Ted has never owned. I'm going to use my psychic powers here. Ted has never owned a cat. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Stay strong, Ted. Rad, who's making the Cygnus V2, was the original designer of the Cygnus, co-owner of LDY, left because the other co-owner had allegations. But before this, Rad and Log Designs were commissioned by LDY to make the lyric. Log Designs? What the fuck? LDY never bought it fully, so when they both left, LDY just made the lyric, even though they don't have rights. I find it so difficult to keep track of all of the Chinese Balisong company drama, I have to be honest with you. I think clones have just gotten me in this space of like Chinese makers can kind of just do whatever they want with no repercussions. So like you say all that and my first reaction is like, what? Clone companies have desensitized me to this kind of stuff. I own an Impulse, but after that, lowest value is Kraken. I was right. You don't own most budget stuff under 100. Big baller over here. You should put that in your Camaro EE stream chat Tinder profile. Ted, you should put, actually, if you're going to make a Tinder profile, I don't know if you are or not. I'm just reaching into the weeds here. I think you should put, and I quote, Blade Bias live stream chat mod in your things to know about me. I think that'll work. That's why LDY only has a market in the US. China hates them. Did LDY release a new design though? I'm missing the part where LDY stole something. Yeah, the flagship thing that you could have won for first place in LDY comp? The what? Dude, sometimes I feel like an idiot when you guys talk to me about Balisong stuff like this, because here's the Vega. Ryan V2. The over, I don't... I don't remember an overcomplicated Cygnus thing. Oh, this. Oh, I do remember this. Are you talking about this? I do remember this. You're right. Layered Zen pins pending. Why? I never looked through this, even though I liked the post. Would this engineering optimize ladders? No. Cool. Thank you, LDY. So they stole this from Log Design? The copyright of this Balisong designs to Ben Zank. I will consider releasing more details, so please stay tuned. Bro, why are we like fucking engagement baiting drama? If they stole your design, just say it. Bio updated. You know what? I've heard people get together on crazier bios in their dating profile. It's fucking, I don't even know what to say to that. Okay, what? So Ben Zank is the owner of Log Design. And he posted this picture. Dude, I'm starting to feel like that fucking, that meme. I don't know what movie it's from, but I'm starting to feel like the, I guess, bro guy. Where did this stupid post go? I need the Moist Critical video on this. I do too, because Happy from Avengers? No, that is not Happy from Avengers. It's the guy from, it's Jonah Hill, isn't it? Yeah, it's Jonah Hill. It apparently came from a movie called War Dogs. What's up, Grim? How you doing? All right, shamers. This is the stink of it. Just ignore it. You know what? I'm going to switch the position of these guys for no reason in particular. This is the stink of it, gamers. Log Designs has accused LDY of stealing their designs. This is a real big slopic that has gripped the loins of Balisong flippers everywhere. Grass is green. That's about it. See ya. Is that good? Moist Critical, is that good? You did join in an interesting time. I think my voice was too energetic. I thought I sounded pretty dead. Fair enough, I guess. I know this is me talking, the guy who usually gets like worked up about the fucking... about just the least important things sometimes in this hobby. But I'm getting really fucking tired of the he said, she said, no one's ever gonna address anything, but there's always rumors that come out of just the Chinese maker group in general. I am just so tired of it. I don't know, man. It's not even that I'm over the drama. It's just that there's never, like, everyone says all of this stuff about LDY this and log designs that and Nabali's this and Nabali's that. And everyone's like, oh, this is like big deal. And then nothing ever happens. Like, nothing ever comes out. No one involved ever says anything about it. There's no receipts. There's no nothing. There's no, and then it just, everyone forgets about it. And I feel like this is just the same shit. This is just the same shit. Because as far as I can tell, I'm seeing a design that LDY posted 40 weeks ago, and then Log Design just saying, oh, this is our copyright, by the way. Hello? Shout out Rocket League Insider, I guess. What the fuck? Yeah, this is their first post in 2 years. What is in 3 years? What is happening? I find it difficult to care, man. I find it so difficult to care. I'll care far more if they say anything about it, but a company that never really did very well, at least in the US side of things, I don't think any of their designs ever really made a huge splash in the English-speaking Balisong market. I obviously won't speak for the Chinese market, but comes out of fucking nowhere after 3 years claiming that LDY stole their design, which I have no reason not to believe them, but I also have no reason to believe them. And then they just say, more details at a later date, maybe, I'll consider it. Okay, bye. I guess, bro. I don't know, man. Have you put the glow eyes in your cat? I actually didn't even realize the glow eyes existed. I had no idea they existed until someone in the comments section pointed it out, and I only just found them earlier today. So that's cool. Yeah, glow here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I guess, and I don't know if study buddies for your bio exam. Good luck, dude. Good luck on bio. That sucks. So basically, if you look in here, see those little white clear things in the middle there, in between the 3 washers? Apparently, Nabali's has included I can't get them out. Who designed this freaking Tooth Fairy case? Shit I'd put under my pillow as a kid. Hope to get some cash. Here we have, I mean, I hardly want to call these grains of rice a zippy mod kind of dealio. I'm never going to find that ever again. Good night, Hunter. Sleep well, dude. Yeah, these little grains of... Dude, I dropped it. I dropped it again. Frank XL has bushings? That's crazy. Kind of expected, but crazy. So if we just, like... This is probably going to be a freaking nightmare, considering how long the Kraken trainer... I dropped it again. Considering how long the Kraken trainer zippy inserts took me to install, I dropped it again. I think I'm actually just going to end myself. I think I'm going to do that just on stream. I think that's what's going to happen. Like I was saying, considering how long this took me with the Kraken trainer, I don't have super high hopes that I'm actually going to be able to get this in. Oh, fun. So the eyes are actually, in case you were wondering, please focus on my, there we go. The eyes are actually different. You can see that one doesn't fit in there properly. And now I can't get it out. And when I do get it out, I'm gonna drop it on the floor. Okay, actually, wait. Fuck. There we go. It's like opening a bag of chips. I'm gonna have to ask you to speak to that a little bit. When you finally open, it flings everywhere. All right. You know what? You lost me, but you got me back in the end. Please just come out, dude. You're not even supposed to go in there. Why? Dude, this is the loosest stuck object. There we go. Dear God. This is a Sisyphean. I shouldn't have went live tonight. Scott, you ever have that feeling? Any of my fellow Balisong streamers in chat ever have that feeling? You get like 5-10 minutes into stream and you're like, holy shit, I should have just had like a good night to myself. Anyway, that actually looks pretty cool. Here we have the glow eyes for the cat. Apparently, allegedly, they glow. I don't know if they actually do. I have no reason to believe they don't. Actually pretty cool. It gives it a lot of personality. Like, look at that. Even from how far away it is, it gives him a lot of character. I actually really like that. They don't fit in properly. Like, there's... Unk is the old guy, Scott, from like 6... I think you might be thinking of Steven. Steven is another... Can you guys, like, see the gaps in there? There's some pretty big gaps. I don't think you actually can see them, but they don't fit in there perfectly. There are no zippy inserts, but they should stay in there, hopefully. And they make him look so cute. They give it a lot of character. I actually really like that. You're probably thinking of Steven, Ted. Steven Scott, I think is his full name. And by full name, I mean his, like, tag in chat. Yeah. Balisong is 24 Scott, which is different, but yeah, different Scott, but the same. We can't see the knife. There we go. Hey, someone tell this guy to press the live button. Someone tell this guy he's behind. They do make, oh. The other side looks divisively less good. He looks a little angry on the other side there, but it's just from like, there's like leftover, oh yeah, there's like leftover plastic material from popping them in there that's like, you gotta scratch off. Although the inserts just from this side aren't the best. The inserts from this side are way better. Which is perfect, because when I hold the knife in a normal position, the good side of the eyes face outward. But he looks so cute! I love that. Shout out everyone who told me about that, both in the Blade Bias comments and in the chat tonight, because that's actually like, I don't really think the cat needed an improvement, but that is like a big improvement. Just give him so much little character. I love it. How's the bite handle indicator? Is it sharp as hell like the impulses? The bite handle indicator I would describe as like adequate for what it needs to do. Also, I can bring chat over here so that I'm not looking like this on my live stream. Low-key look like hot glue inserts. Yeah, on the bite or on this side, yeah. On that side they look like hot glue. On this side they actually look like proper inserts. The bite handle indicator though is like you don't want a chaplain on it, obviously, but you can. It's just wildly uncomfortable and scratches the shit out of your hand, but like it's not gonna cut you. But it hurts enough that like you'll know if you hit it, which I think is the perfect. I think it's the perfect middle ground. I like when bite handle indicators rough you up just enough that you can hear that you can feel it, but don't rip off your finger like the Vulp does if your finger gets caught in the bottle opener or things like that. The Nautilus like will cut you if you go on it, if you hammer on it too hard. This is just like a nice, it's abrasive, don't get me wrong, but it's not painful. Better than the cheese then? Yes, the cheese, probably one of my biggest complaints with the cheese is the lack of a good bite handle indicator. But what this little thing is supposed to be, because it's supposed to, like, you're supposed to feel that. The problem is when you're really locked in on flipping, you don't really feel that. Pull up toothless to compare. Yeah, it's kind of toothless-ish. I think it's more the ears that make me feel that. What's up, Sticky? The thing with the cheese, though, that I really like is if I chaplain on it wrong, the bite indicator, like, messes up my chaplain. Because it causes my finger to move up and down, and it throws off the balance of the chaplain. So regularly, if I go for a chaplain and I'm on the bite side, it will just fly off my finger. The Prisma one, yeah, the Prisma one is really rough. There's a few bite handle indicators out there that are so gnarly that they're like, we went a little bit past bite handle indicator. They're not like knife level, obviously, but they'll still get you if you're... The whole point of a trainer is that under no circumstances should it hurt you, right? Like, even if you use it wrong, it still shouldn't draw blood. But there are some bite handle indicators that do. I don't think it's the biggest deal. It's not like a huge passion of mine to call out when bite handles do or don't work that well. But I think the Cats is a good balance. I also really like the Cats jimping. The lavender, yes, the lavender is Teflon. I like the Refault's little rumble strip indicator. Yeah, I would say that the cat is like the Refault if it was like sharper, if that makes sense. Because I guess you've already described it as a rumble strip. If the Refault is a rumble strip, then the cat is driving on like loose gravel. Does that make sense? You can still drive on it, but it's kind of sharp. It's kind of rough. You know that you're driving on it. Rather than just driving on a patch of road that's meant to be like bumpy. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't describe it as pillowy. I think if you've got a bite handle indicator that's pillowy, you're probably a bit too far in the wrong direction there. There's a nice balance to be had. If I loved the cheese, will I like the cat? No, but also maybe. The cat is noticeably less handle biased. It carries noticeably less momentum. Which is interesting to me because the cheese doesn't have any screws in the bottom of the handles, and yet the cat does. But the cheese is just, like, it carries a lot of momentum. It's got a good, like, kind of Kraken-esque handle bias to it. The cat is similar in the fact that it doesn't really have a ton of hot spots. It's got a similar weight distribution. Actually, I can't even say that. I don't really know. The cat is more neutral, carries less momentum, and feels lighter. But that's generally because it carries less momentum, so it's easier to do ricochets and stuff. Are the cutouts on the blade sharp from you? Yeah, that's a complaint that I've been hearing a lot, and that I do agree with. You wouldn't want to... You wouldn't want to put your finger in here and try and spin it around. Probably. I did that on a Spyderco knife once, and I ended up with like a mini ring of shame. Because there was no chamfering or anything on the inside of that little hole. But yeah, the cats... Let's see if I feel the same about the cheeses. The cheese is also kind of sharp on the blade, but I wouldn't say it's as sharp as the cat, probably because the blade is Teflon coated. The cat definitely has a noticeable sharpness to the blade, but I'm kind of split on it, because on one hand, yes, it does make it feel less premium. On the other hand, when are your fingers ever touching that part? Ever? Unless you're like Jack Pyro and you're doing like some crazy blade shit. Blade ladder, blade grab shit. But if you love the cheese, would you like the cat? See, I love the cheese. But I don't love the cat. I like the cat, but it's certainly not like my... It's not dethroning the cheese for me. It's not even dethroning like the Refault or anything like that for me. It is a cute flipper that... Honestly, dude, this is girlfriend bait, right? This, which... You know, kind of not a great thing for Balisong flippers. Kind of in their entirety, but... This is the kind of thing that, like, you buy and you start flipping to get your girlfriend interested in it, right? It's girlfriend bait. I have no better way to describe it. It's really good. It's like, actually, I can't say it's really good. It's a very, very decent flipper. In fact, I would say it's an above average flipper that has a really cute design and some really cute colors. This is the Balisong for Hello Kitty girls. But yeah, Ted, if you like the cheese, I don't think this is going to deliver something that the cheese didn't deliver. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's coincidence, but they got rid of the plane stand shortly after my joke last stream. That is almost, yeah, that's guaranteed coincidence. More of a principle on the finish being okay enough. Yeah, that's kind of why I don't really care, because the finish of the blade is, you know, it's something you're never touching. It's not a huge deal. And it is also a $70 Balisong. So I don't know. It is annoying. It's probably something I'm going to bring up in my video because it is sharp. I will give it that. There's like this little lip right here. That little triangle under my thumb. That is like genuinely sharp. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. True. Arctic-esque? How so? What's up, Matthew? What's up, Hawaii? What did someone... I can't figure out what some of the cutouts are on the cat. Yeah, I don't super know either. You know what? I think it would just be easier to pull it up on stream here. Because, I mean, this is kind of news. The Nibali's cat is back in stock. For those of you who have been saying in the comment section of Blade Bias that you really want one, here they are, and they're now 70-75 aluminum. Which actually might fix my one complaint. Because my one complaint is that it doesn't carry a ton of momentum anywhere. Like the blade doesn't, the handles don't. So a tiny bit more handle weight might go to fix that. And 70-75 aluminum is slightly heavier than 60-61 aluminum. So this new one might genuinely flip a little better than this one. Unfortunately, I'm just not going to spend another $75 on one of these. I do like it though. Like I'm sounding like I don't like it. I do like it. It's a great Balisong. I just think compared to some of the other things in their lineup, it's not as excellent. Although I have to try the new cheese. I'm really nervous about the new cheese. God, that is cute though. I could get a blue one with the stand. I do want a blue one. Where's the Manta? Who knows, Ted? Where's the Manta? Where's that other titanium one that they released or they revealed a few months ago? I will say design-wise, I love the cat's design far more than the cheese's. I've been considering both for a bit. I don't know if the difference in flipping is major enough to warrant one over the other. In my opinion, it is. If I had to pick, because I'm right there with you. I love the design of the cat. But if I had to pick just one to own, I would pick the cheese. The flipping is just, the cheese is just that good. I could get a blue one with the stand. I will consider this. And then I could directly compare it with the 70-75 versus the 60-61. What I should have done is I should have bought the blue one first. Because I might prefer how this flips over the 70-75. I'm talking like I'm actually going to buy it. We'll see. I doubt it. Wild how we single-handedly killed Akuma Bladeworks. I wouldn't say single-handedly. But, do they feel or flip similar? Do the Arctic and the cat feel and flip similar? No, they could not flip more differently. Like, here is... Just pretend this is the Arctic. Pretend the squid trainer is the Arctic, right? If I put them... You guys can see right here, kind of. If I put them on a scale, and I say over here is handle bias, over here is neutral, it goes cat, cheese, glider Arctic. And like, the glider Arctic would be way over here. The glider Arctic just has too small of a blade and too much weight in its handles. It's far more handle bias than either of these. If I were to start over in the hobby learning all over again, I'd probably choose the cheese in terms of flipping. I feel like at this stage of my flipping journey, it doesn't matter as much. Yeah, I don't... Here's what I think would have happened. If I had the cheese when I first started out... Thank you, voice-activated Hot Wheels garage door. That is very cool. If I had the cheese when I first started, I probably wouldn't be where I am today in terms of YouTube. And I say that for a couple reasons. One, because I wouldn't have felt the need to collect basically anything else. Like, this probably would have been my only Balisong for a really long time. And the only reason I made my first YouTube video is because at that point I had 3 Balisongs that I could compare and contrast between. But also, if I got into the hobby and the cheese was released, then there would be far more people talking about the hobby, talking about their passion for it, and I probably wouldn't have felt the need to really make a video in the first place, like I did back when I did make my first video. Because my video was really made because of a lack of any other smaller voices in the community that I was aware of at the time. And feeling like I just had something to say as someone who just got into the hobby. But these days, that opinion is so prevalent that I don't know if I would have felt the need to do it. Yeah, my Balisong collection came from the fact that my first Balisong was a Squiddy, which was a great first Balisong, but it was plastic. And eventually, what got me to buy the Arctic was the fact that I just wanted to try a metal Balisong. I just wanted to try it. I was just curious about how they'd flip because it was like, that was like a normal Balisong, right? If I started on the cheese, I would have never felt that need. And I don't know how much I would have felt the need to buy something else. Buying the Arctic and experiencing the joy of that upgrade and feeling how good that Balisong felt compared to how the Squiddy B did is what got me to go on to buy the Squid Trainer. And then that's what got me to go on to buy the Vortex, and then to work with Zippy with the Cycloid, and then to sell the Vortex for a... I don't even remember at this point. And then I sold the Squid Trainer for a Prisma. Like, my collection started because I got a Squiddy and I wanted to try metal. If I had the cheese, I don't know if I would have felt that need. I probably would have just flipped it for a while and maybe gotten bored and quit. I'd love to talk about this to a newer flipper too, but it's a double-edged sword, Grim, because you have to remember. There were the days where Balisongs were genuinely bad at this price point, and I've talked to a bunch of people who got into the hobby at that point and said because of how bad the first Balisong that they got was, they immediately stopped interacting with the hobby. You know, they stopped caring about it as much. The Balisong was really bad, so they kind of put it down and they felt like they wasted their money. So it's a really big double-edged sword, because if beginners don't feel the need to upgrade, then maybe they don't, right? But if beginners feel too much of the need to upgrade, maybe they wasted their money in the first place and they're not even going to consider upgrading anyways. So I don't think either approach is really like bad. I just think it's more of a personal thing, because the culture in Balisongs now is to have a big collection and to try everything that you can and to make videos about it if you can or whatever. So I think the culture is still pushing people towards upgrading, even if the beginner stuff is like still so good. I guess I'm just trying to say that I didn't really buy into that culture back when I started with Balisongs. So my journey would have probably looked a lot different. I felt incredibly lucky that the vault was my first Bally, and honestly I got so curious about other Ballies that I kept buying to see how others feel. And that's the other side of the coin. Some people get something like a cheese or a vault and they're like, whoa, this is sick. I want to try other things. They watch YouTube videos, they watch reviews, they want to try this, they want to try that. So I'm definitely not trying to make like commentary that good beginner Balisongs cause people to not collect. Vault was my first higher quality Bally. What's up, hello? How you doing? I remember that thing selling out in 5 minutes the first drop. Dude, the vault was such an exciting Balisong. Obviously, we look back on it now as being kind of mid and not really fitting in with the rest of the beginner stuff. But back when it came out, it was just cool. This big YouTuber in the space collaborated with this smaller time, lower price maker to make something really cool that flipped pretty decently. I mean, you can go back and watch the original Will Hirsch review, or not review, the Will Hirsch interview that Ty and I did that Blade show with Will and Brandon. You can see me struggling to flip the Vulp in that. I was just so caught up in the excitement of it that I didn't, like, I was like, oh, this flips really good and everything. And then reality starts to set in as you use it for 6 months and then other stuff comes out and everything. But like the Vulp really was revolutionary and exciting because it was the first time that quality of that scale was available at that price from not a clone company. Want to write an essay on this now? Video essay on the Vulp would be incredibly interesting. It'd be a really fun video. Something that I would consider putting my time into. Maybe. If I could get Will and Brandon for an interview, I would actually really consider doing a video like that. Not if I do it first. I'm not going to race anyone to the idea. With video ideas, if I have a video that I think I'm going to do and I really am excited about the idea, I don't mention it on stream. So that no one, like, not even that no one steals it, but just so that that idea is never put out into the world. We are coming up on an hour of the stream already. I think we are gonna have to cut it here soon. Beat Terraria. I'm not a big Terraria fan. Controversial opinion alert, I know. I have like 50 hours into it. I played it a decent amount. You should see if they'd be interested. I can assure you that they are not. At least right now. That's not a project that could be done right now. I do think that an interest in trying different balances, material quality can push people to want to try more balis even if they already have a pretty good one. Yeah, no, definitely. Yearly Camaro E upload. True. I do have to get my yearly one out for this year. The sad part is I have so many. I have probably 4 videos that I could record a voiceover for and just edit together. Yeah, I know I have at least 3. And yes, 2 of them are the Blade Show videos. I know, we don't have to go there. Loving my Impulse. I'm glad. The Impulse is pretty good. Although I do have to admit, this always seems to be the case. I'm kind of turning a hill on the Impulse. Turning a hill? Cresting the hill on the Impulse? There's some saying there I can't think of right now because my brain is just fried after today. I hit the cable to my phone. I feel like I'm cresting a hill on the Impulse. I don't enjoy it as much as I first did. It's still great for the price. I'm not going to say it's a bad Balisong by any means. But I think we're still at a point where the $60 to $70 range is just still so thoroughly the best that you can get in that price range, in the budget range at large. That guy said hi. Oh, I missed it. Now I feel bad. Stream hasn't even, or chat hasn't even been like that fast. How am I missing messages? I do genuinely answer messages in my head sometimes and then just forget to say it out loud, so. I like a rounder handle feel though. Again, I'm not saying the Impulse is a bad Balisong by any means. I just don't feel as strongly on it as I did when I first tried it. What's up, Rob? I do wish they were a bit thicker. I think that's where my struggle comes with it, because I like rounder handles too, but when you have a thinner handle, they don't feel as round because there's less to grip onto. I like when they take up a little bit more space in my hands. Flip mine without the bottom spacers? That's crazy. I still have, I mean, I have 2 obviously, and I do keep the bottom spacers out of one of them, but it's never been something that I've actively like fully put thought into flipping when I do flip it. Turning a corner, not turning a hill. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Holy shit. And I remember that because you flip yours without the bottom spacers. I think I'm also turning a corner on balance preferences. I think I'm starting to get into like the freaking, no offense, boring ass headspace of some of like the higher tier flippers where they just like slight handle bias and that's pretty much it. Because lately I find myself enjoying blade biased and neutral Balisongs, you know, like the Impulse without the bottom weights in it, less and less. I do say that, and the thing that I'm flipping in my hands right now is the Squid Trainer. is kind of the opposite of what I just described, but high tiers also do like the squid trainer. Yeah. God. Remind me never to wear these earbuds on stream again. The cable is too short for me to pick up my Balisongs. Preferences change, keeps you nimble. I think it just is because of how much I've been flipping the cheese lately. Any of my supplemental flipping that's not for a video has been with the cheese. So I think it's just molding my preferences. Most people I know flip theirs full. I don't know if I would like it full. I'll give it a shot. I need to form my opinion on the default weight first. Or at least, maybe not default, but the weight that you sent it to me. Why I love weight systems so much, experimentation. I am of two minds on adjustable weight systems. Because on one hand, yes, I do love that you can mess around with them. But, and this is another thing I agree with the high tiers on. It's a very rare thing, but I do agree with them on some things. When you have an adjustable balance, it means that the maker inherently put less thought and effort into making the balance as good as it can be. Because when you introduce an adjustable balance, you then introduce too many balance profiles to balance and make all of them good. So it just kind of ends up making a Balisong where there's like one preferred weight profile and then the rest of them are just kind of bad for one reason or another. I mean, Zippy is a great example of this because while the experimentation aspect of his weight systems are fun, a lot of the times you just kind of set it on one setting. Most people put in all the weights in and that's it, you know? So with Zippy, it's fine because that's like the fun of his products is being able to do all of that fine tuning. But when you have something like, I'm looking for a good example. Yeah, I mean like the Zika. The Zika has 5 weight pins that you can put in each handle. There is no way that they fine-tuned each of those 5 balances to flip well. So everyone just kind of finds the one that's best and then that's that. A Balisong I can think of that doesn't suffer this fate is something like the Superfly. Some people prefer it full weight, some people prefer it one weight, some people prefer no weights, and they all generally flip pretty well. But I think that's more of like a fluke than conscious design, just because of how the physics of Balisongs are. Like I'm not shit talking the makers when I say this. It's just very difficult to design around a balance that changes like that. I really need to pick up some Zippy inserts. Didn't even know how that had a weight system. You didn't know Zippy inserts had a weight system? Or you're probably talking about something else. And that's the other thing. Everyone... Oh, the Superfly? Yeah, the Superfly is right behind me. The Superfly is fascinating because I have none in here. But do you see inside the handles? How can I do this? Do you see in the inside of the end of the handle there? There's like that divot with a hole in it. And then there's another one kind of in the third jimping marker right here. Those are spots where you can put 2 weights. There's like these... The Superfly comes with like these brass spindle looking things that you can loosen the screws up and pull the sandwich apart and put them in those little indents. And then it changes the balance profile. Wow, the Superfly flips so good. Holy shit. This is one of those moments where I've been flipping the cheese so much that I've forgotten that higher tier, more expensive Balisongs do genuinely flip better and feel better than the cheese does, despite how much I love the cheese. Everything I have that has an adjustable weight system, I load it up and leave it full. Yeah. And that's the other thing. People usually find where they want it and then they stay there. They don't really like adjust it ever. Zika Zippy inserts make up about 1 pin. So it's about 3 weights per handle. I guess that's true, but that's a different weight distribution. Since the weight is distributed throughout, it makes the handles heavier rather than kind of adding a pin, which adds more weight down here, which changes the momentum profile more than anything. But I will keep that in mind. Yeah. That's a point, Scott, that I don't like either. But one that I've ultimately kind of come to agree with. I don't know where I stand on this specifically, but I feel like I might just prefer if a maker puts all their work into making one solid balance that is exactly where they want it, rather than making 5 mediocre balances. But that's also kind of why I like, probably my favorite example of a weight, adjustable weight system is this way, where you have pivot screws in the ends of the handles, because it is designed to have those pivot screws there. So like, they have a balance that they were going for. You just have the option of taking some of the weights out if you want. So I think it's the best way to do an adjustable weight system. Obviously, there's not a lot of adjustment with that, but you have the best of both worlds, where you have a fully dialed in default balance and a little bit of adjustment that people can do if they really want. I think the Gaboon is cool because it has weights all throughout the handle. You can make it end weighted or more consistent. I like that too. That is super interesting because that's less of an adjustable balance and that's more of an adjustable weight distribution, where instead of having a weight system that's focused in the ends of the handles, which can affect weight, yes, but really ends up affecting the momentum profile of the Balisong more than anything, the ability to spread the weights throughout the handle is such an interesting one, because it can allow you to create weight hotspots in different areas. Off topic, I gotta grab the playlist used for these streams. It is all sessions music. So League of Legends, Riot Games releases the sessions playlist, which are copyright free, like lo-fi stuff. Pretty much everything I use, Will uses it, I use it. It's all just that. So this specific playlist is the Sessions VI playlist. Sorry, no. This is Sessions Diana. Then there's Sessions VI, which is kind of similar, but maybe a little more upbeat rather than kind of lo-fi like this. And then there's SGT, Star Guardian Tallulah, I think it's called, which is like super upbeat. You'd kind of know the difference between that if you hear it. But just look up the Sessions playlist. They've become popular in the Balisong space because they're copyright free, and it's good music. There's a reason I was in the top 0.001% of League of Legends listeners 1 year on Spotify, and it was exclusively because of these streams. Which kind of sucked. You put the glow-in-the-dark eyes in your cat? I did, and it looks so cute, man. It looks so cute, man. It actually gives him a lot of personality. These stupid eyes unironically made me like the design of this knife. Probably gave it like another point out of 10. Were they hard to put in? Not really. I love multicolored looking blades like the name is escaping me. Bird of Prey. Yeah, Bird of Prey. You got it. Oh, you guys are laughing at me because I said, okay. They were easy to insert into the Balisong. My lack of dexterity in my fingers for holding small objects is not the knife's fault. That does not reflect badly on the insertion process. I don't like that. It does not reflect badly in the installation process of the eyes for the cat. Once I got him in the right. Okay. Okay. All right. No, you've made your point. You've made your point. Yep. Laugh it up. Laugh it up, chat. No, I wish GITD was more prevalent in Bally's. There's a reason that it isn't, Grim. It's because it's a weaker material inherently. No, Scott, you're good. I'm not upset. It is a weaker... I don't know if you were there. You were there. Because Zippy went all in on glow-in-the-dark stuff. He made an entirely glow-in-the-dark Balisong in the GITD Zipper and the GITD Cycloid. Yeah, so I love finding ways to incorporate glow in the dark, like you said, with bite handle indicators. Holy shit. That don't go into the structural integrity of the thing that I'm constantly dropping on the ground. Probably one of my favorite implementations of glow in the dark in Balisongs is the Zippy glow in the dark inserts, and kind of an extension of that. Specifically the stitch with the glow-in-the-dark X's right here and then the glow-in-the-dark spacers. If I leave this on my desk... Also, holy shit, this thing flips well. If I leave this thing on my desk and turn off the light, I'll see it glowing there as I'm walking away. It's pretty cool. Thinking about getting some glow-in-the-dark filament and having some fun with the Kite AL scales. As long as you're okay with them probably breaking. Especially making scales out of them. Ty found this out when he tried to make scales a few years back. But there's a lot of force that's being put on the scales just from tightening down the screws at either end. And then every time the Balisong impacts... the shockwave will like ripple through the scales, and depending on what material you make them out of, they can break. So I almost guarantee that they would break, but if you're okay with that, then it would be a very cool thing to do. I have a glow-in-the-dark handle for my Zippy diode, and I have to treat I have that thing in its own like pouch. I have to treat it like it's made of glass. Welcome back, Matthew. Love to mod a rep with zippy inserts and spacers. Does Zippy makes rep stuff? I'm sure he does. I got glow in the dark inserts for my squid trainer and they're awesome. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Is like inserts or spacers or something like that. Like I said, my favorite glow in the dark thing is my my bandage or my stitch. Also the handle caps. The handle caps are cool. They just affect the balance too much for me nowadays. I wish I could go back to the days where I would put those on Balisongs and I wouldn't feel a difference. Because Zippy also has those LED caps that are like super long and thick and heavy, but they add like LED lights to the end of your Balisong. So cool. But I just can't. I can't handle the extra handle weight. Got out a guitar. Nice, dude. Cool song. Good song. Isn't there that one light up Balisong? Yeah, the EOS. No, the Flyscape EOS, I think, is the name. Flyscape? Yeah. Pretty sure that's what it is. The fiber optic one that you have to charge with a USB-C cable. And is so ungodly thick that it makes the edit light blush. Yeah. Sorry, can't flip today. Gotta charge my ballot song. Where does Bandage sell the stitch? I think directly on his Instagram. I think he'll announce when he's selling them and you have to shoot him a DM. I don't know for sure, though. He might have a website. Probably would be more informative, which sucks. I should probably be more knowledgeable on this, but probably be more informative. Just ask him on Instagram. NRB scale rep is wider than the Kraken. Wider than the Kraken. Not thicker, just wider. Be good on like a Vega or a Knot where they're not as heavy. Yeah, it's just, Can you repeat? Can I repeat what? The stitch? Where he sells the stitch? No, the favor. I didn't respond to a favor. Sure, dude. Shoot it my way. Gotta charge my Balisong. It's like vape users having to recharge their need to breathe. I'm sorry if you vape. Just dug myself into such a hole there and did not dig myself out very well. So I'm just going to drop the shovel and move on. Hour and 21 minutes, longer than I was planning on. It is currently 10 p.m. I think I gotta be done, dude. I think I gotta be done. Have you tried the zippy inlays for the Superfly? I have, but it was on, you'd have to watch. I did a video on a zippy reblade for the Superfly. And I believe that reblade had the zippy insert. So I've tried them, but I haven't tried them on a normal Superfly. That being said, I sent you the pink. Oh my God, Ted, you did. Holy shit. Holy shit, I'm just now remembering in my little zippy box now. I do. I do have zippy inserts for the Superfly. Oh my lord. I'll put them in. Will I put them in right now? Do I feel like putting them in right now? How do they even go in? I don't know. Let's find out. Gave me something to procrastinate with. Happy to help. Shout out the Orion spacers that I paid like 40 bucks for and still haven't installed in my Orion. Shout out the Seraph weights that I bought at Blade Show that I only used in Ted's Opus. Shout out the Squid Trainer mod that I bought at Blade Show and used for like a week before I wanted to hear the ring of the Squid Trainer again. Fortunately, they go inside out. You have to open her up. I don't have to. Check this shit out. Ready? Call this open heart surgery where I'm from. Bam. Gotta pop her open. Who says? Who says you're not perfect? I don't know how I'm gonna get it out though. Oh well. Is this handle now fan any worse? It has changed the sound quite drastically. I don't think there's any way I can get you to hear the sound that I'm hearing. But when I fan it on that handle specifically, it has a very like glassy sound to it. Instead of the typical very dull, muted sound that the Superfly is kind of known for. You know what? I'm acting, dude. I'm using a freaking knife. I have a whole ass iFixit kit that I could be using instead with like entire tweezers. They're empty. Are these weighted? Not weighted, are they? Oh, sorry, you said zippy spacers. You said zippy spacers. My fault. There you go. You don't need to pop her open. You just need to you just need a friggin' open heart surgery, man. Yeah, it's made the thing sound glassier. The Superfly is already a very quiet Balisong that doesn't have a very unique sound profile to it. But it's made it sound gawkier, glassier. I don't really know what verb to use. I'll just put them all in, man. It's not like they weigh much. Inserts were pointless for mine with the hex handles. That's why I was I was like, yeah, I thought I tried it, but I thought I tried it with the hex handles. And I remember, no, the hex handles, literally, there's no reason. Honestly, it probably would have been easier to open this thing up and do it that way, but this is unironically one of the easiest zippy installs of my life. There we go. Yeah, it's deepened up the sound a little bit. I feel like that's 90% of the streams that I do, Scott. It feels no more handle biased, but my hand is getting fatigued much easier flipping the Superfly. So there's obviously a change that I can't detect because my arm is expecting some level of effort. Right? My arm is expecting some level of effort when I flip the Superfly. And when that effort is exceeded, you start to feel a little bit of fatigue. So there's obviously something different about it, but my arms can't consciously detect it. Does it sound better? No, it sounds way better to me. But again, we're talking about the Superfly, which already didn't sound much like anything. So it's kind of like a 0 times 50 is still 0 situation. So it sounds a little better, but like it's not going to win any superb sound awards, you know? And it's only when I fan it, weirdly enough. Like, it's only when the blade only hits one of the Zen pins, because the actual ice pick sound test... Oh, no. It sounds deeper. That actually sounds way different than the Superfly normally does. Cool. Well, it's a splash of pink that I didn't really want in my Superfly, because I kind of like that my Superfly is just like flat silver. But I like the sound. And now that little bit of wrist fatigue is going away, so I'm getting used to it. Interesting. Pink is goated? I don't disagree. I just like my monochrome Superfly. It's the reason I haven't anodized this yet. If I were to anodize something, it would be my Kuno. Or I'd get my SlifT redone. I've been strongly considering getting my my SlifT re-anode. Ethan, the guy to try the GIF 6 months later. Yeah. But in my defense, Ted, I also try things that I spend money on 6 months later, so. It's not personal. Really wish Andrew Myers' mod books were still open, because the SlifT has now gotten to the point where the original Anno on it is pretty faded. Like, it's still there, obviously, but the pill kind of weird pattern on the side it's pretty faded. It's about time to maybe get it refinished. I want to keep the green though. I'd want to send it to Andrew Myers and say, I want the same green, but everything else I want different. Pattern is beautiful. Yeah, so this initially, when it was first done, I don't feel like digging out the original post that I think this was done by Bally Jesus, that Bally Jesus did on it. But it was a purple and like yellow or purple and green pattern on the side there, and then it's got jeweling over top of that. So you can see the purple. The green is pretty much gone, but you can kind of see the green still down here in the jimping. Andrew gonna hate you for that. He's really hard to exactly replicate colors and he hates green. Well, maybe I won't send it to Andrew. Whoever I send it to, though, I want to say, like, it doesn't have to be exact, but I want a similar green. Okay. I think that's it. No, I know, Ted. I gotcha. Other than that, though, this all titanium blade, that is a freaking canvas for an artist to... I'm not gonna say that. To totally freaking art all over. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta go to bed because I am an adult and have work in the morning, and it's gonna be a long day as it usually is. So I don't want to be falling asleep in my chair. What's up, Jack? I'm sorry, you're at the very end here. So wait, dude, I'm 30 minutes over what I was planning. I can't wait. I'm sorry. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Matthew, I'm sorry. I didn't show it on stream, but I will, I'll take a look when I'm off stream and shoot you a message about it. Thank you everyone for watching. Should I buy a Bowie Kraken or a Superfly? Buy whichever one you like better, brother. Have a good night, everyone. I'm not even gonna do my whole spiel because then I'll be here for another 45 minutes talking to people. Goodbye. Have a good night. Flip a good Balisong. I don't know. Be good to each other. It's very simple, but do it. Bye.